Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we've come to the third Grand Slam of 2025. Wimbledon is here. I got on my green to reflect the grass of Wimbledon and all the grass court tennis. Bryce, man, it came on us quick, man. We're just still getting over all of our clay court stuff, and Wimbledon and grass court tennis is on us. What's going
It
on, brother?
is. It is. I mean, even though they've added, this week, a number of years back in between the clay court season and the grass court season, it still feels like it comes right there, right? I mean, we just got over Sabalenka trying to slam Coco Golf in her press conference. So we just now getting over that. So
Right? Come on now. Come on now.
now we got to start thinking about this grass court tennis. And
It's
I tell
crazy.
you, this is going to be interesting because some people have come out of the woodwork. I mean, like I said, I thought Vondrousova was out on that boat with Crystal Waters and Terrence Trent D'Arby and all that. I didn't know what they was all doing out there. Bublik act like he want to be a serious tennis player, coming
right.
through. And you got the usual suspects. I mean, this is going to be. We told the listeners and the viewers that Roland Garros was going to be popping. I think it's going to be the same thing for Wimbledon, especially with Djokovic out here talking about this is his best chance to get 25.
Yeah, well, and it is. To be very honest with you, I honestly feel like it is his best opportunity because the players haven't quite gotten their grass court footing, if you will. Just across the board, the young folks are still trying to learn the surface, and I feel like he can still be very dominant on this surface. But I tell you what, he's got an interesting path. So yeah, we'll be getting into that for sure.
All right. Well, as we always do, we love to start off these preview shows with, what we call our first round popcorn matches on both the men's and the women's side.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I think I have the typical number of women's popcorn matches, but I'm real low on the men's.
Well, funny enough, Bryce, I have 8 and 8, and I don't know if I specifically was just trying to, but in even some of the 8, I'm kind of like,
right?
Would that really be popcorn? But
right.
At the same time, there aren't really any blockbuster first round matches that I really saw and was like, oh wow. You know what I mean? It's one or two for sure.
Right. They tend to have more personal interest to us than we would tell the tennis community, like, oh, this is this huge popcorn match. But
exactly.
That being said, we're going to go through them just the same.
Yeah.
And let's get it going with the women.
All right, ladies first. Ladies first. All right, who's your first one, bro?
You know what? My first one, and once again, a popcorn match doesn't necessarily mean I'm saying that there's going to be an upset, but there's a particular level of interest, maybe even due to current play or whatever, that now makes this matchup interesting. And so the first one for me is Vondrousova, because I just talked about her. She just came out of nowhere again. She's won this title before, so she definitely knows how to conduct herself on grass. But she's playing the American Kessler, who has been on a real upswing. Actually was able to snag the number 32 seed. So Vondrousova is actually the one who's not seeded here.
Right.
And although I expect for Vondrousova to win the match, I think Kessler's going to come for it.
Oh, I do. I agree with you, Bryce. That's the first one I had written down as well. I think McCartney Kessler is feisty. She's a baller, and she's going to give Vondrousova all she can handle. I do feel like Vondrousova, though, she's coming into this with a lot of confidence. She just won one of the warm-up tournaments. She is a Wimbledon champion. She's got that variety and that tricky game that is really, really hard to to really get past. So I feel like even though with Kessler being as feisty as she is, I think Vondrousova figures out a way to get that and snag that 32 seed. Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah, man. So that was the first one I wrote down. The second one, of course, that I wrote down is we've got our, our lone Brit, Miss Katie Bolter, and she's battling against Paula Badosa, who you never know what you're gonna get on the court because Paula's back always, can always flare up and act up on her. So are we gonna get good back Paula, or are we gonna get bad back Paula? That's their name these days, bro.
I guess that's up to CC Pies, huh?
Whatever that is all about, right? But I'm gonna tell you what, yeah, that one to me will be a battle because both of those ladies hit very hard, they hit big, so it should be entertaining. But if you get a healthy Paula, I would give her the edge. But if anything is going on with that back, Katie Bolter is going to work her over. Simply put, what are your thoughts?
I have zero to add to that. You said everything that was in my brain about that matchup. So totally agree with you there.
Yeah, man.
The next one I had, and this is just me being a little petty, maybe for this one, but I had Anna Samova, who surprised me as the number 13 seed.
Yeah.
I was like, why? Okay, but anyway, she's Anna Samova as the number 13 seed. First round, I don't think anybody would want to play Putintseva in the first round on any surface.
Any surface.
And just like we said about the Vondrousova match, all things being equal, Anna Samova should win the match. But Putintseva is such a question mark.
She feisty.
Yes.
Yeah, she feisty, man. You can never just automatically say, yeah, I'm gonna beat Yulia Putintseva. No, because Yulia be taking them down. So Anna Samova better get out there and be on her game, because if she is not, Yulia will be taking her seat from her. I'm just saying. So I agree with you, bro. It's so funny. We've got the same. We flagged the same ones thus far at this point, because I flagged that one as well.
Okay.
The next one I flagged, and this again, not sure the form coming in, but I actually put down like Krejcikova versus Ayala, because Ayala is a left-handed player. She's young. She's very feisty, very much looking to get scalps under her in her pocket. And Krejcikova, coming in as a former Wimbledon champion this past year, I just don't know the form that she's in. And so, you know what I mean? And so I feel like Ayala, she's young enough to not be afraid of Krejcikova. And I feel like she may go after this upset, Bryce. I really do.
Oh, I'm sure she will. And, once again, you talk about current form. And that plays such a big part in what's going to happen. Krejcikova, like Vondrousova, a previous champion. So we know she knows what to do to be successful on the surface. But sometimes, I guess your best isn't good enough. And so Ayala is that type of person who could potentially take advantage of that. So totally agree with you.
Yeah.
You know what? My next one is, I'm gonna go back up the draw a little bit.
Okay.
And once again, I have this theme, like I fully expect this person to win, but there's stranger danger over here in this matchup, right?
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to Queenie's first round.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah.
Yes, because Queenie, once again, by all rights, should win that match.
Yeah.
But I would say if somebody you don't want to play on grass, is Siniakova.
Correct.
And especially in the first round, and when people have a few nerves, once again, expect Queenie to win, but that will either be a very good match or potentially an upset.
You know what, Bryce? And I did see that one. And for whatever reason, I don't know why I didn't write that one down because I saw it and I was like, ooh, that's a good one. But then at the same time, I was like, Queenie gonna send her back to doubles and be like, girl, now you know. But still, it doesn't mean that
Right.
it's not a popcorn match because those are two names. And I even have said this in previous podcast recordings.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel as though Senior Kova has underachieved as it relates to being in singles. I feel like she actually does have a very nice singles game. So you never know. You never know.
Right.
That's a good one. I don't know why. I think I was gonna write it down and then I just kind of got spacey. So good catch. Good catch. Good catch. Okay. Well, the next one that I had is, kind of a sentimental one because we've got, our girl Petra Kvitova. She's announced that she is going to be retiring. She is a two-time Wimbledon champion, and she is going to be playing Emma Navarro in the first round. And as much as I love Petra, Emma first and foremost is trying to get over that shock first round loss at Roland Garros, and so I think she's got a little chip on her shoulder and something to prove coming into this Grand Slam. Like, yo, y'all caught me slipping at Roland Garros. You ain't gonna catch me this time on grass. And so I feel like that bodes pretty badly for Petra Kvitova. So, that to me is definitely a popcorn match to watch because it may be the last time we get to see Petra Kvitova on the lawn, grass lawn of Wimbledon. What are your thoughts, bro?
I think Navarro's going to treat her like Naomi Osaka. And she going to tell a girl go on somewhere. Go home and feed your babies.
Go home, feed the babies.
Lead this tennis stuff to the players. You didn't have your moment in the sun. Let's keep it moving.
Let's keep it moving.
I gotta get home and count my money. I'll be playing with you.
Right.
So anyway, now,
yes,
one that I had, and this is strictly personal. So I know probably some of y'all won't care about this one, but strictly personal was the Haley Baptiste, because that's our girl. We love her. And Christea, who is coached by our guy, Sven Gronefeld.
Yeah. So
it's kind of a no-lose situation in that particular one. But I did want to acknowledge that's, for us brothers on tennis, that's one we'll kind of keep our good eye on.
That's a good catch. I saw that one as well and was like, yeah. We'll see, though, because like I said, as much as we love Sven, Haley is having a moment. And I really feel like her tennis is really shining right now. And it should shine, especially on grass, given the variety that she comes with.
Yep.
But then again, like I said, you never know. Christea is old school. And she has been playing out there for a long time. She knows the game, and she's taken some scalps as well. So that definitely, I agree with you, will be a popcorn match. That's a good call on that one, brother. Yeah. And keeping it in line with the sisters, I had to highlight the one Alicia Parks versus Belinda Bencic. I kind of feel like I know which way that one is going, unfortunately. But at the same time, Alicia did play a really good Roland Garros. She had a great, great win there. And hopefully she is slowly but surely getting herself on track. Because once, and we've said this before, Alicia, I was about to say Alicia Keys. Alicia Parks. See, we've been talking about Alicia Keys too much. But Alicia Parks has just mad game, mad potential. And again, we're hoping that she continues to build and live up to that. But that is going to be a tough task against Belinda Bencic, though.
And you know what? I wanted to pull something up. Didn't they play recently?
I can't recall. I don't recall.
And I'm pulling this.
You're pulling it up
right now.
Okay. If you put head to head, it should show where they last played.
Yeah, it shows that it looks like 1-1.
Oh, okay. Well, that bodes well for Alicia then.
Yeah. So Alicia beat Bencic, and December.
Oh, okay.
And she won the first set 7-6. Bencic won the second set 6-3, and Alicia gave her a bagel in the third set.
Ooh, okay.
So
all right. Well, there you go, folks. Shoot, Alicia coming in with as a favorite. Shoot, she's like, girl, I'm not scared of you. Let's go.
Exactly. Go home and feed your babies. So I mean, that's so that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Now, for my next one, and we love Iga, and although Iga has shown this year, by even making it to the finals of her first grass court tournament, that maybe her grass court tennis is improving. First round, Cooter.
Yeah, that's always tough.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I mean, I think Iga has a definitive edge on hard court and clay. Over Cooter, but I think on grass it gets much closer.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I captured that one as one to kind of keep your one of your eyes on.
I know, at least one of your eyes. And like I said, I was impressed with her run to the finals in this warm-up tournament here. So, she's looking like at least she's, trying to get her grass feet under her, which is cool.
Right.
Yeah. So good stuff. The next one I have is the All-American Affair. Again, keeping it with the sisters. Taylor Townsend made it out of the qualies, and she is in the draw, and she faces Sophia Kenin in the first round. I tell you what, that's going to be a good match. I don't know exactly who to lean towards, because I feel like, again, on hard court, I would kind of lean a little bit towards Kenin, just simply because of her ground strokes and all of that. But on grass, Taylor can be tricky. And I feel like with Sophia, she's just wanting that consistent hit the ball. And if Taylor throws that variety at her with that loopy left-handed forehand and everything, I honestly feel like she's got a bit of a chance in this one. Regardless, I do think it's popcorn. What are your thoughts on this matchup, bro?
Yeah, I absolutely captured it as a popcorn match, if no other reason than it's the two Americans, playing in the first round. I'm not as confident on Taylor's chances. Sophia Kenin is something to deal with in singles.
Yeah.
Ask Coco Gauff. I'm not trying.
No, it's no shade. I know it exactly, because she did knock her out in that first round a couple years back.
Right, and so I just think where Taylor is just a master at the net and the doubles format, I find it. What's the word I want to use? I'm suspect about Taylor's movement in a singles match against Kenin. Like, if she was just stuck up there at the net, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But her having to make her way into the net with Kenin's ground strokes.
Yeah.
And then Kenin, I'm sure from a singles standpoint, is thinking, I should win this match.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, exactly. So she didn't have those qualities.
Right, exactly. So I wish Taylor well, but I would have to put my coins behind Kenin. This particular one.
I hear you on that, bro, for sure.
And was that your last one?
No. Well, the last one is the last one, which is...
Okay, so we're on the same page then. I had the Gauff Yastrzemska one. Gauff. She's that girl right now, so that's great. We love that for her. But first rounds are first rounds for a reason.
Exactly.
And as we just mentioned with Sophia Kenin, hopefully, she's really motivated in this first round. Yastrzemska's one of those ones that really hits out.
Exactly.
And if they're landing, it can be a tough day. It might be a tough day. Once again, following the theme of just about all my other popcorn matches, I fully expect for Coco to pull this one out.
Yeah.
But she is playing a dangerous opponent.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if this one goes 3 for sure. I do feel like Ystremska's got that kind of a game that can worry a Coco Gauff if that forehand isn't popping the way that it needs to. Because she can rush that forehand on grass for sure. But like you said, I just believe since Coco has experienced a first round loss at Wimbledon and the fact that she's the number 2 player in the world now, she ain't trying to go out in the first round. So I feel like she is going to figure out whatever needs to be done in order to win that match. And that's why I think it's going to go 3. I think Ystremska may get her maybe that first set. And then I think Coco's going to be like, okay, let's do my Coco thing. Let me be an athlete. Let me use my brain. Let's figure this out. And let's go on ahead and send this child home. So, that's how I think that one's going to go. But yeah, it is definitely popcorn.
So, wow. So great. Those are the matches in the first round on the women's draw that we think if you got a moment to check them out, it may be well worth your while.
Absolutely.
So now for the men, how many did you have for the men? You had 8, right?
I had 8. Yeah.
And I have 6. And I will admit, going into this, there were a few that I did see, and I was like, is it popcorn? Is it not? And I may have left them off. So I may hear about a few of those on your list. So let's start with you since you have more.
Okay.
And
this first one, honestly, Bryce, may be one of those that you skipped past because, again, it's not truly popcorn, but I'm always interested when countrymen have to play each other, especially in the first round. And that is Sinner versus Luca Nardi. Luca Nardi is someone that, again, he beat Djokovic at I think it was either Miami or Indian Wells, whatever that tournament was a couple years back. So this is a young kid who has game, and he has and he knows how to play. And it's just always fun to me when countrymen play each other. How is that going to go?
Yeah.
Again, I fully expect for Sinner to get through this, wipe him off the court. But quietly, I want to see how Luca Nardi goes into this match and how he plays the number 1 player in the world. I'm just very interested in seeing that. So I wrote that one down as a popcorn. May not be a popcorn for many, but for me, it's popcorn.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from with that, and I do want to make a distinction here between the men's and the women's tour. I guess with the men, because they play best of 5, that is supposed to lean towards the better player over time, right? So if Nardi and Sinner were playing somewhere else and it was 2 out of 3, I would definitely probably give him a little more of a sniff. But there's no way I see him taking 3 sets.
No, not off a Sinner on grass.
Whether they from the same country, subdivision, or whatever. But I absolutely vibe you on why that would jump out to you. And I'm actually going to stay with the same theme, in the next one. Number 1, every match with Monfils is a popcorn match, no matter who he plays.
Correct.
But playing Humbert, who, plays well on the surface. I'm not sure how the countryman stuff works out between the two of them. I feel like Monfils, as much as I love him, is starting to slow down just a bit. And so I get nervous for him in best of 5 contests these days.
Yeah. And he played last year on grass, and I think he actually even won that tournament last year. But again, going into Wimbledon, he hasn't really won much on grass at all. It's best 3 out of 5. He had a tough Roland Garros. I don't favor him in this matchup. I do think that Humbert is going to come out of it, especially given that he just made a final or whatever in one of the warm-ups. So, but Humbert loves him some Gael Monfils. So, that's going to be just a lot of, love fest out there. But he is going to play, and I just feel like he will get that victory over our boys. So,
right.
Yeah. But definitely popcorn, something to see for sure. Because again, with Guile being 38, hell, we don't know how many more Wimbledons he might be playing anyway. So
We really don't.
yeah. So with that being said, the next one I have is a Team Bryce member, and that is Kecmanovic versus Alex Mickelson. I think
Yes,
that's going to be a good
I do
matchup.
too. I
Yeah,
do too.
because Catch is always good for a fight. I mean, he
Yeah.
always good for a fight, regardless of the surface. And Alex Mickelson, again, he is just slowly and gradually making his way, and he's getting
Yep.
better and better. And I don't know which way to call this particular match, but I do think it's going to be a good one regardless. What are your thoughts, bro?
I same thing. And Kecmanovic is one of these ones that is not afraid to go 5 sets. He's extremely fit. Mickelson just put them things on Monfils on at the grass court tournament a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So and didn't he lose early at Roland Garros?
I believe he did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
So he may be looking, to rebound from that as well. So yeah, I captured that as a popcorn match as well.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, now this next one, I really, 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 really did capture this one. Taylor Fritz, who has not had the best spring and summer. There's been a dip there for some reason against Pesci Pericard, which with that serve on this surface, if it was peak Fritz, I would definitely be like, okay, Fritz, he'll do what he needs to do to win it, but he hasn't been peak Fritz lately. And when you're talking about as dangerous of a first round opponent as you can have on the men's side, Giovanni is,
his spring has not been good, but I have to say that Taylor has done pretty good grass wise because he won the warm-up tournament. He played, I guess, the second tournament, and I think he lost to Moutet, Quarantine Moutet. But then in this tournament, I know he's in the final. I didn't see whether or not he won yet today. So grass court wise, Taylor's actually had a really good grass court showing. Now, here's the thing, though. If you look at the draw, now mind you,
he beat Brooksby.
Yeah. Okay. So he did beat Brooksby. Okay. So he's got 2 grass court tournaments out of 3. So he's looking good on the grass. But here's the thing, Bryce, of everybody's section in the draw, Taylor's is by far the most ridiculous. I mean, because like you said, he's got to face Pesci Pericard to then potentially face Diallo in the second round, to then potentially face Davidovich Fokina, who he just played. And yes, he beat him, but this is best 3 out of 5. And Davidovich Fokina actually has a winning record against Taylor Fritz. And then it's like after that, if he even gets through that, then you're talking about he's potentially going to have to play Medvedev in the round of 16. That boy got a wrecked draw.
He does.
So going back to what you were saying, the fact that he's played all these tournaments on grass, I don't know if he's going to have enough energy, not even to get past Pesci Pericard, but any of the folks that I just mentioned. So it's going to be a bit tight on Taylor Fritz. But, Pesci Pericard, that's our boy. He got that big old game, big old serve.
Right.
I mean, Taylor's not a small guy either, though. He's 6'6". He's 6'5", 6'6". So he's got that ranginess about him that he can probably get some of those returns back in from Pesci. Rick, I'm talking a lot because I'm just saying it's going to be a good match.
It is.
There you go. And I'm going to leave it there.
All right. So who you got next?
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. So the next one that I have, again, is probably not on anybody's card. But again, it is countrymen. It's 2 young guns. And that is Lerner Tien against Bassa Veretti. These are 2 kids that basically met in the Next Gen finals last December. They're meeting in the first round. I just feel like that one's going to be a good first round popcorn match that we want to see 2 young Americans battle it out on grass, best 3 out of 5, and see who comes out of it. So most people won't be interested, but again, I am for that reason. That's that.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
I wonder if you have this next one that I have.
Okay.
Which is Runa versus Jerry.
Okay. It's funny that you say that because I wrote it down and then I erased it. and I do think that is a popcorn match simply because both of them, you don't know what you're gonna get. So I'll let you speak to it since you actually did write it down.
Right. Well, I've been a little Jerry shy since he stuck me with that French Open result a couple of years ago. But we are on a surface that rewards his strengths.
Yeah.
The serve, the big forehand. And we know Runa can play as brilliant as you've ever seen and can also just be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, he can be Nicholas can be a frustrating guy to play. And if he can crack the Runa mental, that may give him his opportunity that he's looking for.
I agree. Yeah, it's that one will be a good one because again, it's totally you don't know which one of them you're gonna get. So,
right.
Yeah, but that's what makes it good. The next one I had is actually two guys who in these warm-up tournaments did pretty well. We just talked about Jensen Brooksby having lost to Taylor Fritz. And then you had Talon Griekspoor, who was in the finals, I guess, of one of these warm-up tournaments. I don't know if he won. Did he win that one? Okay, well, there you go.
Mute.
There you go. So Talon's coming in, playing some good ball. You got Brooksby, who's feeling pretty confident, even though he took that L against Taylor Fritz. I think that is going to be a really fun first-round match. Don't be surprised if that one doesn't go 5.
Oh, yeah. I would agree with you. I like both of those guys.
I agree. Yeah.
The last one I had is really kind of two players that are a little bit, I think, kind of on the backside of their best moments. And that is Cam Norrie and RBA, because RBA is another one of these that came off of that Crystal Waters, Terrence Trent D'Arby, Eddie Grant boat, and it's all of a sudden he's still playing well. So I really couldn't tell you who wins that one.
Yeah, me either. I lean a little bit towards RBA only because, again, he's got those flat ground strokes, and he's always actually done very well on grass. But then again, so has Cam Norrie. Cam Norrie got that flat shovel backhand.
Yep.
Both of them are pretty, are athletic. It's you're right. It's 50-50. It'll be interesting to see. For whatever reason, I'm kind of leaning a little bit RBA. But again, they're in London, which is Cam Norrie. So he may be able to, use the crowd to get him go. I don't know. It's going to be a fun one. That was going to be fun.
It is.
Yeah.
So did you have any other ones?
No. That was all I got, And so, yeah. We are all good on the popcorn.
So please check out some of those matches if you get a chance, good people. So let's do this. We're going to take a quick break before we come back here and we give you our thoughts on how this draw is going to play out. We gave you good stuff for Roland Garros, so don't miss it. We'll be right back. And we're back, and it is time to talk the predictions. And I'm going to just go ahead and throw this out at you, Isaac.
Yeah, man.
My man, there's some small surprises, but I think you basically know how it's going to go. You're going to give me some real side eye on the winner. But so
you may give me some back too, quietly.
So which one do you want to start off with?
You know what? Let's go with the men since we pretty much know that the women's is going to be kind of crazy. Let's leave the crazy to the end and let's see if we can focus in on the men.
Right. Okay.
All right.
So as we do with these predictions, we like to give you our thoughts starting at the quarterfinals. So we'll tell you, who's we predict is going to be in the quarterfinals and kind of who maybe they beat to get there.
Right.
And Isaac, if you wouldn't mind taking the first swing, and just go all the way down if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, all the way down the top half or all the way down?
Yeah, all the whole quarterfinals.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, so the first one that I have is I have Sinner, and
Mhm.
even though I don't exactly know the form he's in, I'm voting on Tommy Paul to at least make round of 16 to go against Sinner, but I have Sinner making it to the quarterfinals.
Okay.
I have him playing Ben Shelton, who I actually
Mhm.
think Ben is going to take out Nakashima in the round of
Ooh.
16 because Nakashima's playing some good ball on grass. So I actually have Ben against Nakashima, and I have Ben getting through to the quarters. Um,
Okay.
the next one I have is, and this was a tough one because I tell you what, Bublik has been playing some good ball, but I am saying that Jack Draper is going to actually make it through into the quarterfinals, and I think he's going to play. I kind of said Kaboli, and I don't exactly
Okay.
remember or know why I put him in the round of 16, but it had to have something to do with his draw, and I guess he just looked like the more apt person to make it through. But regardless, I have Draper making it to the quarters,
Okay.
and who I have him facing is Novak Djokovic. I think
Mhm.
Novak will make the quarters. I think he'll probably play Alex de Minaur, even though we haven't really seen much from Demon. But I think
Mhm.
I see Djokovic making it to the quarters. So my top half quarters is Sinner versus Shelton and Draper against Djokovic.
Okay.
Do you want me to go to the bottom
Okay.
side?
I'll give you mine because
Okay. Yeah.
I basically just matched you
Oh, awesome.
on that.
Okay.
So I have Center coming in over Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I have Shelton coming in over Musetti.
Ah, Musetti. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have Draper, and like you said, it was a tough one between Draper and Bublik.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think Draper's been on one a little longer,
Yeah.
and he is
Yeah.
in front of the home crowd.
Yep.
I have him coming in over Bublik, and I have Djokovic coming in over Dimitar.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
So we're right there. So I'll go ahead and start with the bottom then.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't.
This is the fun.
Yeah, I don't know what you feel about this, but I have Medvedev in the quarters over Fritz.
Mm-hmm.
I have Zverev making it there over Hachinov.
Mm-hmm.
I have Runa making it there over Tiafo.
Ooh.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
and I have Alcaraz making it there over Tsitsipas.
Okay. We have all of them exactly the same, except for that third one.
Okay.
I didn't have Tiafo anywhere in there. And who did you have him play? Sorry, Francis. I'm sorry.
I had Francis losing in the fourth round to Runa.
Oh, and see, I don't even have Runa anywhere. So I actually have Brooksby versus Lehechka
Okay.
for my round of 16 because that whole quarter, I'm just like, oh, and it's basically, Bryce, I'm basing it off of form. I just feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Brooksby is in good form right now, and I feel like he's trending in the right direction. He played the final, he lost to Fritz, but I think
Right.
he's feeling pretty good about his game, especially on grass. And Lehechka, like I said, he's had a pretty good warm up as well, and he's played some pretty good tennis. And I
Mhm.
just haven't seen enough from Francis at this point because, I mean, did he even play a grass court warm up? I don't even remember seeing him out there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I guess that's why I'm a little suspect, and that's why I was kind of like,
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go with the players that I've been hearing about have been getting
Right.
some results. So that's kind of what led me to. So again, like you said, I have Medvedev over Fritz, exactly like you
Mhm.
said. I
Yeah.
have Zverev over Hachinov, exactly like you said. I have Lehechka actually beating Brooksby to make it to the
Okay.
quarters, and I have Alcaraz beating. Who did you have Alcaraz beating?
I had him beating Tsitsipas.
Yeah, same. Okay, that's exactly
Okay.
who I had because I was like, the fact that I had CC Potts in around the 16, I'm like, But yeah, that's
Right.
kind of how the draw just looked. So yeah, you got
Yeah.
it, bro.
When I looked at it, it was like
It's a little
he
soft.
should get through there. Yeah, it's a
He
little
should get
soft.
through there. Yeah.
And and part of my consideration for Tiafo was how well he played at the French.
Right.
And so I didn't know if that kind of momentum was going to carry over for him.
Yeah.
And then Rune, I just have this feeling that he's going to do what it takes to win his matches.
Okay.
So that's just kind of why I went there. So
you.
anyway, we matched 7 of the 8.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you see going from the quarters into the semis?
Okay. So up top, I do have Sinner taking out Ben Shelton. I just do. The Djokovic Draper.
Yes.
I got Djokovic. I think Jack is coming along very well. I think he's building a great game, a great career.
Right.
He's not quite there as it relates to Sinner and Alcaraz, as it relates to confidence in being able to beat the GOAT. And simply put, you've got to have that mental confidence to do it. Right. And I just don't think he's quite there yet, especially on grass. If this were hard court, if this were maybe at the French, I actually would give Jack more of a shot. But I just feel like Djokovic on grass, and if you don't have that mindset that, yeah, I can beat this dude, he's gonna climb on you. And I have Djokovic. How about you, bro?
For me, I totally agree with you with Sinner over Shelton, but you know me, I picked Draper over Djokovic. I'm thinking that the hometown crowd might give him that extra push he needs to pull that one.
To actually pull it through?
Yeah. At least I'm hoping.
Well, there you go. I mean, I think it's going to. Love Jack. Like I said, ever since I found out that Jack's favorite tennis player was Gael Monfils, don't get it twisted, folks. Yeah, he has definitely been one of my absolute favorites. I love the kid. I think he is a very respectful young man. I am a fan of Jack Draper. I just feel like he still has just that little bit to turn that corner to get to where Alcaraz and Sinner is. But he's going to get there. I fully believe that. I really do. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm hoping Jack wins, but I was like, I can't quite go against Djokovic on this one. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and for the bottom, I actually have Medvedev. Well, we know how Medvedev does with Zverev, so that one wasn't a hard call for me. Right. And I was like, do I really have Medvedev in the semifinals? And then I had Alcaraz over Rune.
Same thing. I had, like you, I had Medvedev over Zverev. I just think he owns that matchup. He has the mental edge there, regardless of surface. And I just, there's nothing stopping Alcaraz. So I think you had Tiafoe there?
No, I had Rune.
You had Rune. Okay, Rune there. And to me, whoever Alcaraz plays, he gonna beat. So
exactly.
So there you go. Yeah. So we have the same.
We have 3 of the 4.
Oh, and we have 3 of the 4. That's right, because you have Draper. Right. That's right. Sorry about that.
So now it gets interesting. All right.
Yeah, man.
So for me in the semis, I'm gonna start from the bottom. Okay. Like you said, Alcaraz will run through Medvedev like a black hole. But I have Draper taking out Sinner.
What?
I do. I think on grass, I think his best chance against Sinner is this surface.
I would agree.
So let's go ahead and get it.
You know what? If I had picked Draper, I probably would have gone that same route. And honestly, that's why I'm going with Djokovic to make the final. Because of that reason, I think that Djokovic's best opportunity, because Sinner has been owning Djokovic, just owning him. On grass, though, I think Djokovic is like, you know what? We're going to stop all this nonsense. And it's going to be 5. It's going to be crazy like the Roland Garros final. But I think Djokovic is actually going to pull this one out. And I think he's going to get to the final to face Alcaraz. Because ain't nobody stopping the train.
Yeah, no. Right. No. You're totally correct about that. I mean, I have obviously Alcaraz and Draper in the finals, and which I think if we're able to get that, that is going to be an amazing final. But yeah, I don't think look, Australia
Mm-hmm.
and the U.S. Open, I think, are up for grabs for a couple of players on the men's side for the next couple of years.
Yes.
I see Alcaraz as the clear favorite for both Roland Garros and Wimbledon.
Exactly. What did who was it that was it Villander that won him for the French Wimbledon combo like a few times?
Well, you had Borg who
Oh,
did it.
It was Borg. Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
He won 6 Frenches and 5 Wimbledons.
There you go.
5 times in a row. Yeah.
I think that is what we're going to see with Alcaraz. I think he is going to dominate these 2 slams. I think he'll sprinkle in U.S. Open and Australian Open here and there.
Right.
But over the next few years, it's going to be hard for me to see anybody beating Alcaraz on those 2 surfaces. So I absolutely agree with you. I have him beating Djokovic, denying him 25. I think he's gonna get him back for that whole Australian Open. Ooh, I done pull something in my leg, but I'm gonna still fire these shots off and beat you. Yeah, right. I think Alcaraz has a chip on his shoulder and he's ready to exercise that chip against Mr. Djokovic.
Yes.
So if we get that final, that also is going to be fire. Regardless, it's gonna be good because Carlos is gonna be in it and he's gonna win.
Hey, there you go. I can't say it any better than that. You know,
he is the one. He is the hot one. I'm sorry. On the men's side of the draw, anything involving Carlos Alcaraz is fire.
I told somebody the other day, I can't remember who I was talking to, and I said, Yannick Sinner is the #1 ranked player in the world, but I think people know Carlos Alcaraz is the best player in the world.
Exactly. It's well said. Well said. No. And honestly, I think Yannick even knows that as well.
Yannick knows that.
He know. Yeah. That's why he's in the gym. That's why he's training. That's why he's doing what he do, because that's what happens. You push one another. But right now, no. He can have that #1 against his name all he wants. Anytime they go into a matchup, I will be putting my coins with a Carlos Alcaraz.
Right.
Yes.
We'll just look at the last 5 times they played.
Well.
We'll put a nice little bow there on the men's
good bow. I like that.
Championship, right?
Yes.
Now for the women. Oh, this is messy.
It's getting messy, y'all. It's gonna get messy.
It's real messy. So I guess I'll start this one then.
Yes.
Just hold your hat. So I have in the first quarterfinals, I have Vondrousova over Svitolina to make it to the quarters.
All right.
Then I have Madison Keys making it over Babak Badosa.
Triple B.
Babak
Badosa.
Then I have Paolini making it over Anisimova.
Okay.
And then I have Queenie making it over Ostapenko.
Okay. that you know what, Bryce? That was the fun quarter because I had a lot of fun with that little round of 16 right there. So
right.
I'm with you. Okay. All right. So here we go.
Okay.
And I know exactly what I'm with you. I almost went that route.
Okay. All right.
But I went ahead and ran with Sabalenka only because Sabalenka and Vondrousova just played each other, and Vondrousova won. Right. I feel like, unfortunately for her, that's a bad thing because I think that Sabalenka is going to come in and be like, okay, I know what you did. I kind of know how to play. It's in my brain now. I know how to play you, and I love the revenge factor. And I like I said, I almost did because I was like, ooh, I think Vondrousova, it's going to go 3. It's going to go 3, but I actually leaned towards Sabalenka. So I have Sabalenka actually coming through playing Svitolina, and I actually have Sabalenka actually getting there.
Okay.
Same thing on the next one, Triple B against Madison Keys. I have Madison Keys getting through. Same thing with you. I had Paolini versus Anisimova, and I have Paolini making it through. Now the next one. Okay. I went so many different, because I had so many different matchups, but what I ended up coming on, because I initially was like Ostapenko, but here's what I went with.
Okay.
I actually think it is going to be Ons Jabeur versus Naomi Osaka.
You know what? You need to come on out of that time machine and figure out what's going on in 2025.
Okay, now listen. So here's my thought on this whole thing,
Okay.
because that whole side is just so weird. Because you
Right.
got Diana Schneider in there, you've got Ostapenko, but like I said, and we talk about Ons Jabeur, yeah, she may not be in the best of her fitness, but on grass, her game is tricky. And I feel like she's going to play people that are not going to know how to deal with her trickiness. And they're not going to be able to expose the fact that she is not in her best, if you will, condition physically. And so for that reason, I just feel like even against Ostapenko, because I was thinking about it, I was like, could Ostapenko, get up on and Ons Jabeur? And I just think that Ons is so crafty that, again, I feel like she gets through her. So regardless, so that's my reasoning for that. And then okay, call it what you will, but I'm gonna tell you what, Naomi Osaka is due for a breakthrough. She's due for a breakthrough. And my whole thing with Naomi is, as long as she's not playing anybody that can expose her movement, she's got a great chance. Because on grass, all you got to do is hit big and hit your spots, which she does. I feel like she is going to play Queenie in the second round, and I feel like she is going to get that win over Queenie. I really do. I really do. I think that is going to be the blockbuster second round match, and I am voting on Osaka to make it through, to give herself confidence to make round of 16. But again, then I feel like she'll play Ons Jabeur, and Ons is going to be like, I got this craftiness on you. I'm going to move you around, and I'm going to make it to the quarters. So as crazy as it sounds, I have Sabalenka versus Keys. I have Paolini versus Jabeur.
Okay, so we're a little different there. I have, like I said, I have Vondrousova versus Keys and Paolini versus Queenie.
So we got two of the four.
Right.
There you go.
So tell us, what do you have for the bottom?
All right. So bottom, I've actually got Navarro coming in over Mira Andreeva. I just feel like Navarro's playing good grass court tennis. I haven't seen anything from Andreeva at this point. And like I said, I feel like Emma's trying to make up for that first round loss at Roland Garros. So I think she will get through. I think we're going to have a battle of the billionaire bees. I want to say that out loud, but you know what I'm saying. And I think Navarro is going to play Pegula in the quarterfinal. I have Pegula getting in over Alexandrova. And again, Pegula's looking good. Just took out Iga to win this warm-up tournament title. So she's feeling good about her game. So I feel like the billionaire babes, we'll say that, are going to play each other in the quarterfinals. The next one I have was a tough one because, yes, Iga is playing some really good grass court tennis. Unfortunately, she is in the same part of the draw as Rybakina. And on this particular surface, even though Iga kind of owns Rybakina on the other surfaces, I feel like on grass, Rybakina going to be like, sis, I'm about to go sit down. Go sit down because this is my surface. And guess what? I got one of these. I won this thing. And so Rybakina is going to sit Iga down and make it to the quarters. The next one, see, I learned my lesson because I voted on Keys to beat Golf at Roland Garros. And you know what? Even though grass is not Coco's best surface, Coco is the number 2 player in the world. She's trying to be the number 1 player in the world. She just run Roland Garros. I feel like Coco's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to get there. And I feel like she is going to play Samsonova. It's not, and that's not going to be easy. But I have Golf making it to the quarterfinals. What you got?
We match almost identically.
Nice.
I have Navarro over Andreeva. I got Pegula over Alexandrova.
Nice.
I have Rybakina over Swiatek.
Oh, over Swiatek. Okay, yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have Golf over Kasatkina.
Ah, you got Kasatkina going through there. Yeah. I can see that.
So I just think, man, I just want to add this little note here on Coco Gauff. I think Coco Gauff is in a moment right now.
All right.
And I think she has the potential to kind of run the tables. As long as she, she stays contained and does her thing. Right. So that may be a little foreshadowing as to
what your draw looks like.
Because for the semis,
yeah,
I have, believe it or not, Madison Keys taking out Vondrousova. I have Queenie taking out Paolini.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I have Navarro taking out Pegula.
Wow. Okay.
And I have Coco taking out Rybakina.
Okay. And here's why I'm laughing, y'all. Here's why I'm laughing. Because the only semifinalist that we have in common is Madison Keys. That is bonkers to me. Okay, here were my picks. So I actually have Keys getting in over Sabalenka because, again, she's riding off that Australian Open. She's going to be like, nah, sis, I got you. And again, if Madison is not playing somebody tricky, I actually, again, think Madison Keys plays great ball on grass. So I see her going through. I see her actually having a rematch with Jasmine Paolini in the semis, because I actually have Jasmine Paolini making it in over Ons Jabeur. Because remember, I picked Ons Jabeur to make it to the quarters. So that's why ours is a little bit different. But yeah, I have Keys versus Paolini. And then on the other side, again, I have Jessica winning the Billionaire Babes battle.
Okay.
Again, Triple B.
Triple B.
Right, Triple B. Because again, like I said, she's on one. And once again, and I pray she proves me wrong, but I have Rybakina beating Coco Gauff.
You don't love Coco Gauff.
I come on, bro. I love Coco from the standpoint of, is she my favorite player? Yes. But at the same time, when I think about Rybakina's game against Coco's game on grass,
right? And
Rybakina, she got the ice. She got the ice in the veins, so she don't care who she playing. She's just gonna be swinging. I just feel like Rybakina is gonna have the edge over Coco. So I want Coco to prove me wrong. I'm hoping that this is yet again another Roland Garros repeat, and hopefully she will prove me wrong and take this title, because I would love nothing other. But I'm gonna go prediction wise with Rybakina.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I get why you say that. I mean, and there's a little homerism, in there for me, going for Coco, but. It worked for Roland Garros. We try to make it work for Wimbledon.
There you go.
In the finals, though, I have Queenie taking out Keys.
Okay.
And I have Coco taking out Navarro.
Wow. Okay. And in my final, I have Keys taking out Paolini to get revenge on when she hurt herself last year. And I have Rybakina taking out Pegula to make yet another Wimbledon final.
Ooh. So ain't no mystery in what I'm doing. So Coco over Queenie for the win. Talk to me. You have a really good matchup there in the finals for grass.
From my draw. And this is something that I said coming out of Wimbledon, and I've said it a few times. Madison Keys has been my pick to win Wimbledon. I know she's lost. She lost to Vondrousova, again, a tricky player. I forget who else she lost to in the warm-up. But if Madison Keys is playing against big hitters, I will vote for her every day, because to me, I feel like she's gotten her mental together to be able to figure it out. And so I have Keys winning Wimbledon over Rybakina.
Wow.
So at least we have two Americans, two sisters.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. I tell you what, it'll be interesting when we come back at the mid-fortnight stage to see who's still in the mix.
Well, I'm hoping that our predictions are still there. Like I said, in quarterfinal wise, the only difference we had was Sabalenka and Vondrousova, basically.
If we're correct.
Yeah, if we're correct.
Right. So Oh God. Well, this is great. I'm excited to get things kicked off here
Yeah.
on is it
Is it
Sunday or
Sunday or
Monday?
Monday? I know exactly. I'm not sure with Wimbledon. I don't think
Yeah,
they
they
have a
keep
Sunday
changing.
start. You know what? I think it's going to be early Monday morning. But I think what
Okay.
they changed is they don't. They now play the middle
On the
Sunday.
middle Sunday.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But they
Right.
don't start early like the other Grand Slams. I think it will be
Okay.
early Monday morning.
Okay. Well, I will be looking forward to the order of play, coming out and watching all these good matches. And hey, look, if you guys listen to this and you think differently, put in the comments, what you
Mhm.
think.
Absolutely.
Uh, but so any final words, Isaac, before we wrap it up?
No, man, I'm excited. As always, Grand Slam tennis is the best. And
Yes.
just looking forward to seeing how we do as it relates to our predictions. So, should be some fire and fun matches.
Yes. And to all those listening or watching, we hope that you enjoy this tennis that's coming up from across the pond. And we will be right back with you next week with our mid-fortnight show to either brag about our predictions or give you some new things to think about. So with that, everyone, enjoy the tennis and we'll talk to you next week. All right. On behalf of the podcast, this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy, Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone be well.